Catch me if I fall. Catch me if I fall.
Good afternoon and welcome to FA Cup Live on this Sunday the 17th of March. Happy St Patrick's Day to all the Irish out there. Great to have you with us this afternoon as a double header of the FA Cup quarter-finals, where we've already seen two teams progress. A shock at Molineux yesterday when Coventry scored in added time, 2 goals in added time, to win by 3-2 against Wolves, and Manchester City made easy work of injury kind of ravaged Newcastle United at the Etihad with 2 Bernardo Silva goals last night to give Manchester City their ticket to Wembley. So Coventry and Man City going to Wembley. We'll see this afternoon which two teams will join them. First, we're at Stamford Bridge as Chelsea welcome Leicester. Chelsea, of course, 11th in the Premier League. Leicester, top of the Championship, but on a bit of a bad run of form themselves compared to their own standards this season. We'll see if they can do a number on Chelsea this afternoon and get to an FA Cup semi-final. Remember, these two met in an FA Cup final just a few years ago. So Chelsea will be wanting their revenge because they lost that final a few years ago, as they've done with their last 6 domestic cup finals. And then later this afternoon, Manchester United against Liverpool, the huge one at Old Trafford. What a moment that's going to be, and you can join us here. That is at 3:30 kickoff on LFS. Right, to the teams for this one this afternoon. And we start with Chelsea with Robert Sanchez in goal. A back 4 of Malo Gusto, Axel Disasi, Trevor Chalobah and Marco Correa. An unchanged back 4 from their 3-2 win over Newcastle. In midfield, Conor Gallagher and Moises Caicedo as Gallagher captains the Chelsea side, and a very attacking front 4 of Cole Palmer, Raheem Sterling, Khalo Mudryk and Nicholas Jackson leading the line for the Blues. On the bench from Mauricio Pochettino's side, Petrovic, Silva, Achiampong. Chilwell is back on the bench this afternoon, which is a welcome return for Chelsea fans. Badiashile, Chukwuemeka, Harrison, Washington and Madueke make up the subs for the home side. For the visiting Leicester City, and Enzo Maresca starts with Jakub Stolaric in goal. A back 4 of Hamza Choudhury, the captain, Wout Faes, Yannick Vestergaard and Callum Doyle in defence. Wilfred Ndidi, Harry Winks and Kieran Dewsbury Hall make up the midfield, with young Abdul Fatah Isahaku right wing, left wing Steffi Mavididi, and up front Patson Daka. On the bench for the Championship side, Danny Ward, James Justin, Benjamin Nelson, Connor Cody, Wanya Marcel Mavudua, Mark Albrighton, Yunus Akgun, Thomas Cannon and Kelechi Iheanacho. Experience on both sides this afternoon. A few changes, including both goalkeepers, which is an interesting one. And we'll see what happens there this afternoon. Kick-off in the FA Cup quarter-final at Stamford Bridge between Chelsea and Leicester City is on the way next. Good afternoon and welcome to LFS this lunchtime on St Patrick's Day, the 17th of March. We're at Stamford Bridge this afternoon for the first of our 2 FA Cup quarter-finals. Our referee this afternoon is Andy Mandy. Of course, there is VAR in action for you. of course, as it is a Premier League stadium, as it is all weekend, of course, all four FA Cup quarter-finals and Premier League grounds. Of course, only two championship teams in the competition, Coventry City and Leicester, at this stage. And we will have a championship side confirmed in the semi-finals, which of course is Coventry City. Leicester wanting to join them, but Chelsea stand in their wake. And Chelsea, well, they have a bit of a kind of bone to pick, not particularly with Leicester, but with domestic cups, because they once again lost the domestic cup final at the end of last month at Wembley against Liverpool. They want to return to Wembley and want to have another chance at putting the record straight. Chelsea in their home blue kits, Leicester in their away kit of black with a kind of mint sash along the shirts and mint and black shorts this afternoon, which is an interesting away kit. I like it. It's a nice away kit. So we're waiting for kick-off. Leicester will get us underway. Patson Daka, once the referee is ready and the officials get us underway. Andy Madley just making sure his watch is all correct and gets us underway for this FA Cup quarter-final at Stamford Bridge. Of course, a Wembley ticket awaits one of these two sides. Whoever can come out on top this afternoon will be heading to Wembley in next month, or sometime next month. And of course we will await until all four quarterfinals are complete and we know our four semi-finalists before the draw takes place later this afternoon at the final whistle of Manchester United against Liverpool this afternoon. So exciting to see whether we could have some really exciting matchups. We could have an all-championship and all-Premier League tie for the semi-finals. That is a possibility if things turn out that way. It is very much a possibility as Leicester come forward down the left-hand side. Mavididi looking to run at Gusto early on. And Malo Gusto in his way and blocks it out for a corner to Leicester City. And that's going to be an interesting matchup. Both have good pace in Malo Gusto and Steffi Mavididi. We'll see who wins that battle. So far, Mavididi got the first corner, so he's won the first head-to-head. Corner here, which Mavididi won, and he will take. Bodies in the box for Leicester. He'll take it short, finds Dewsbury Hall, who works the angle, chips it into the box. A strike from Harry Winks, who was coming onto it at the back post, but fired it wide of the goal. But that was a well-rehearsed kind of set piece, that from Leicester. Making it out as if Kieran Dewsbury Hall's going to whip it in, and he just fizzes it right across the box. Pops down for Harry Winks, who's around a good distance out towards the 18-yard line, and he just fires at it. It bounces off the ground and pops up and clears away. There's good pressing from Leicester there. Here's Issa Haku. Ndidi, back to Chowdhury. He almost gives the ball away, but Wout Faes in cover, helping out his fullback, Harry Winks. To Yannick Vestergaard. A positive start from the visitors, applying the pressure early on Chelsea. Of course, a Chelsea side who need a bit of positivity this season. FA Cup, their only remaining chance of a trophy, and here they come with a breakaway here. Here's Mudryk to try and chip into the box. Good block. Cole Palmer was blocked off in the end by Yannick Vestergaard. And that will be a corner to Chelsea. I think this is going to be the idea today. I'm not expecting either side to really command this game. I'm expecting a counter-attacking football game from both sides. As Palmer with a delivery. Lurking towards the back post was Nicholas Jackson, but quick onto that one was Callum Doyle. Put it behind for another Chelsea corner, this time on the left-hand side. So, we're defending for Leicester to do here. Mudryk over to take this corner on the left flank. It's a low one right across the front post. It's bouncing around. And almost any touch, and that would have been in. But it didn't get a touch, and Leicester clear their lines. Issa Haku with the clearance in the end, but an awkward corner. Mudryk cuts it across the front post, Palmer with a flick on with his right foot. And it's inches away from dropping in at the back post. But Callum Doyle couldn't get to it. It bounces behind him, luckily, and wide of the post in the end. But that would have been some goal by Cole Palmer. Nice idea and skill. Didn't work out. And as Chelsea play down the left-hand side, or their own right-hand side, they put it out of play. And Leicester win a throw-in, which they've already taken as Chowdhury looks to switch the ball. Isa Haku couldn't get onto it. Kukurea intercepting that pass, but Ndidi on the retreat stops Chelsea in their tracks. Winks. Finds Ndidi, a bit of space for Leicester. Isa Haku down the right-hand side. Chips onto his left. Blocked off by Kukurea. Good defending again, but Chelsea wasteful again. Mudryk trying to force the ball and hit Chowdhury, but here he comes again. Mikhailo Mudryk running at the Leicester players, but Winks in his way. Good hold-up play there from Daka. And then Ndidi wins the free kick off Conor Gallagher. Very high-tempo, quick-paced game. A lot to keep on top of this afternoon. That's the type of game you want. You want a high-tempo game. These two sides have a lot of attacking talent in their wake. Here's Haku. His ball is just a bit too wide for Ndidi, who'd made the run infield. Kukurea with a recovery. Goes long again. It's fast. Heads it straight off Mikhailo Mudryk. And Jackson picks up the loose ball. Plays it off to Caicedo. Now Disasi down the right-hand side. Down the right is Malo Gusto on the overlap. Trying to find Palmer, but that one blocked off by Doyle and out for a Chelsea throw. No wasting, no kind of time wasting, no kind of dancing about here from either team. They're going for it. They're not taking their time and they're moving the ball quickly. That's what I mean about, I'm not expecting these two sides to try and dominate the possession and carve the other one open. I'm expecting an open game. I'm expecting a game with goals here this afternoon. From what I can see from these two teams, because there's so much quality. I mean, there's 8 players on this pitch that have an abundance of quality in attacking areas, and that's not including any of the midfielders or the defenders. All 8 attacking players, out-and-out attacking players in this game, have an abundance of quality. Sterling, Mudryk, Palmer, Jackson, Daka, Dewsbury Hall, Mavididi, Isa Haku. 8 incredibly good players in attacking areas. I'm expecting a bit here. More than a bit, a lot. Lisa in the chat, thank you very much for joining us. Welcome in, Lisa. Lisa says, I think Man City will play Liverpool at Wembley, so a Man City-Liverpool final. That would be Jurgen Klopp's final game in charge of Liverpool if it does happen, because the FA Cup final is after a proposed Europa League final, so the FA Cup final is one of the last games of the season. I think the Champions League final is the last of the season this season, but it would be Jurgen Klopp's final game in charge if Liverpool do get to an FA Cup final. At the moment, on course to repeat at the very least their achievements in 2022 of a cup double. Already have secured the Carabao Cup against Chelsea last month. I mean, it would just be, it makes so much sense if Chelsea and Liverpool meet in a final again. I mean, it's happened so many times before. And in that same season, actually, Liverpool played Manchester City in a semi-final. And Chelsea, I mean, this is a bit of a stretch, but Chelsea played a team beginning with C in a semi-final as well. So if Chelsea and Liverpool both progress, we could see a repeat as such of the semi-finals of 2 years ago as well, because Chelsea played Crystal Palace in the semi-final in 2022. Could play Coventry, and Man City Liverpool could meet. They could also have a Manchester derby as well. That would be a cracking semi-final. It was the final last year. it wasn't competitive for very long. Rodri opening the scoring, or was it Rodri or Gundogan? One of the two opened the scoring for City within the first minute of that game. Right, almost 9 minutes gone. Lisa says, what do you think of the England squad? I think there's a lot of deserved call-ups. I mean, we see Jurgen Klopp talking about Joe Gomez. I'll talk about that in a moment. Sorry, apologies. Indeed, he coming forward there. Blocked off by Gusto. Leicester are doing well at winning those second balls. They're winning those duels at the moment, Leicester. Here's Mavididi down the left. Comes in field, has to go back to Winks. Harry Winks. Lovely ball out to the left. Finds Dewsbury Hall with a cross, but too much pace on that one from Kieran Dewsbury Hall, and that will evade everyone in there and go wide. What I think of the England squad, I think the selection is decent from Gareth Southgate. I think Joe Gomez, a well-deserved call-up. Watching him in the last few weeks and months, he's been absolutely fabulous for Liverpool at any position on the pitch. I think one that maybe some people would be a bit annoyed, maybe Dominic Solanke, but I mean, that's kind of neither here nor there. But you do get a call-up based on your performance with your kind of club team. And so far, I mean, Dominic Solanke's been one of the best performing players for his club this season. I think Ivan Toney being called back up after Gareth Southgate gave him a lot of kind of support during his ban, of course. So that's good to see. Anthony Gordon as well deserved call up. James Maddison. Henderson is a bit one, and I've said this before. I said that this the last time there was an England call up. I think it was way back in October or something. But Harry Maguire and Jordan Henderson. No offence to Harry Maguire, he's actually played half decent the last few months. He was never not going to be picked, let's be honest. Unless he was injured, he was always going to be picked for England. Jordan Henderson is a strange one for me. Again, it's one of those ones where he's just picking players that he kind of trusts. But this is a kind of a squad. Let's not worry about this. It's two friendlies. They're not important games of football. What these two games are, what this international break is for teams that are already qualified for the Euros, is a chance to try and experiment with squad options and try and figure out what you can do for a Euros final. And if England go into a final with the same old, and don't change things and don't try new things, I struggle where they're going to get a difference in result and difference in kind of outcome in a tournament. You know, I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't go on and win the Euros if they pick the likes of a Jordan Henderson and a Harry Maguire. If you're not picking, trying different things. I mean, again, one player that, again, another defender, I don't know if he's injured or not, maybe that's why he wasn't picked, but Fikayo Tomori, doing a really good job in Italy, still not involved. It's good to see Jared Branthwaite, he's performing very well for Everton, and Ben Chilwell, etc., and Lewis Dunk, but still the same old at times from England. And they've always cried there's never enough left backs. Well, you certainly have quite a few good left backs in the league. Here comes Chelsea. Nicholas Jackson doing well. Lovely, and Cucurella finishes off a lovely solo move by Nicholas Jackson. And Jackson squares it to Cucurella, and he has an open net to put Chelsea 1 up in the quarterfinals. Really good move by Chelsea on the break again. Nicholas Jackson using his pace and his skill to chop around defenders. And Mark Cucurella made the run at the back post, waiting for the ball, squared across to him. All comes on the break. Ball down the right hand side. Jackson breaks away from his centre back. Just carries the ball forward. Vestergaard steps off, never gets in his way. Vass is in no man's land there as well. And a right-footed squared ball by Nicholas Jackson to the back post. And awaiting is Mark Cucurella to just slot it into an empty net. Chelsea 1, Leicester City 0 after just 13 minutes in the FA Cup quarter-final. And Mark Cucurella, the man to give Chelsea the lead. Leicester can only blame themselves from that position. Their defending was, to say the very least, passive. Not enough kind of engagement in the final third. And just waiting and waiting and waiting for the attacker to do something. And he did. And he caught you out. So 1-0 to Chelsea. We'll see how Leicester respond. Had to ride a few losing positions and losing moments when being behind in games in recent weeks. Of course, Leicester not absolutely were blistering the Championship at one point, but kind of had a bit of a wobble in recent weeks. February, March. That this last 5 games or so hasn't been their most kind of clinical of kind of results. Their 2 wins in their last 6 in all competitions have been 1-0. One against Sunderland in the league and one against Bournemouth in the cup. And here come Chelsea again, and the through ball by Mudryk. Jackson beaten to it by the Leicester goalkeeper. Again, it's on the break again, and the pace from Chelsea is really good again. Mudryk through the middle, and he just plays the ball right the way through, splits the centre-backs, and just slightly too much for Jackson to gather. But another good move by Chelsea as Isahaku gets Leicester forward. And then the header at the back post at quite a distance there from Steffi Mavididi goes wide for a goal kick. As I was saying, yeah, only Leicester's only 2 wins in the last 6 games have both come away from home in 1-0 wins in Cup and League. Since those other 4 games, they've lost 3 of them. Middlesbrough, Leeds and QPR. 2 of those coming at home, by the way. And then a 2-2 draw with Hull last time out, last weekend. As here comes Cole Palmer for Chelsea. Getting into their rhythm. Finds Jackson. Gusto linking up with Palmer. Back to Caicedo. Leicester at the moment just can't allow Chelsea to really get a grip of this game and take control. Have to keep this game open. When scoring first this season, Chelsea in all competitions, they've lost just once in 17 games. When scoring first, won 13 of those 17 games. So they know how to hold on to a lead when they get it, Chelsea. Leicester on the press, and Patson Daka closing down Robert Sanchez at a rate of knots, and Sanchez almost caught out there. Goodness me, Sanchez thinks he has much more time than he does. And Patson Daka, really good play, high pressing, and Robert Sanchez stopped in his tracks and trying to clear the ball. Luckily it ends up going out for a goal kick for him. Gets the benefit as here come Chelsea again. Sterling falls to Mudryk, and he hits his own player in Raheem Sterling, who's in the way. Leicester on the ropes at the moment. Here comes Cucurella, feeds it to Jackson. Jackson a bit lax in the box, and indeed he wasn't. Put it behind for the corner. We thought that was going to be 2. Jackson takes it down nicely and splits again the defence. They all come one way, leaves a massive gap in the defensive area. Raheem Sterling runs through. He can't get a shot. It falls to Mudryk. Mudryk actually hits Sterling, who didn't move out of the way. Another good move by Chelsea. Another good opportunity. Sterling. Across to Gusto. Goes for the cross. Flick from Harry Winks. Takes it behind for another Chelsea corner. Seems like Chelsea are starting to get a foothold in the game. Really taking firm control of it now. Leicester kind of holding on at the moment. Trying to deny Chelsea a second that could be massive and crucial to this fixture as the corner comes in. Away by Dewsbury Hall. But the flag has been, or the free kick has been called against Chelsea, so Leicester will have a free kick. Mauricio Pochettino. I would say he'd be pretty happy with how his side have started the game and how they've played so far. They have looked threatening on the break. But the second goal would be huge for Chelsea. Would be a massive boost. Of course, Chelsea's run so far in the FA Cup. They beat Preston in the third round. 4-0 here. And they drew with Aston Villa here. 0-0 at the end of January. They went to Villa Park and overcame Villa, winning by 3-1. And then in the fifth round, last time out, they played Leeds and they won narrowly here against the Championship side with Conor Gallagher's 90th minute winner, winning by 3-2 on that occasion. Leeds dominated the second half and kept themselves in the game, and that's exactly the blueprint that Leicester need to kind of hold on to and kind of match, because they allowed Chelsea to get a foothold and a real stronghold in this game and take full kind of commanding dominance of it, possession and control of the ball. They will find themselves in a bit of bother, Leicester, and could find themselves well out of the game because Chelsea have so much attacking talent and attacking ability. As we've seen, it's been on show massively in the first 20 minutes. If Leicester allow them more dominance, more control, more possession, it'll only get worse. But here come Chelsea again down the right. Gusto at the byline, cuts it back. Jackson flicks it on, goes down. Gets it, does Cole Palmer. Looks to recycle the ball. Disasi. Gallagher back to Axel Disasi. Now Palmer. Gusto had made the run. Mudryk made the run infield. Mudryk with the ball in. Jackson just kind of evaded the ball there, it seems. Chelsea, for the moment, kept the ball, but Dewsbury Hall to intercept off Moises Caicedo. Here is Dewsbury Hall. Lovely footwork by the young Englishman, and he goes down and gets the free kick off Axel Disasi. So a free kick to Leicester, and that's really, really good from Kieran Dewsbury Hall. That is what trait he kind of carries for Leicester. Gets the team up the pitch, uses his sheer pace and skill and powerful ability to carry Leicester up the pitch and win them a free kick as well. Take the pressure off, give them a bit of time for the possession themselves, and take kind of the full hold pressure off their defence. It's a quality that cannot be understated in a team. Here's Daka coming deeper. Plays it off to Harry Winks. Down the left is Mavididi. Through the lines finds Dewsbury Hall with a cross, and a threatening cross that was. Sanchez came and missed it, and at the back post, luckily his teammate Marco Correa was in the way and headed it behind for a corner. It was really good. Dewsbury Hall with a beautiful cross, cut back. Sanchez goes to reach it with his right hand. It's over the head of Chalobah, and luckily Cucurella for Chelsea was there at the back post to head it behind as there was a Leicester player lurking. Leicester with this corner. Mavididi to take, left-footed, right across, bouncing around, not cleared away, and goodness me, Chelsea do get it cleared at the second time of asking, but that was a dangerous position for the ball to be in a crowd of bodies where it could have went anywhere, but luckily for Chelsea, they got the first connection and cleared the ball out of danger. Here's Yannick Vestergaard. Winks on the halfway line. Back to Fass, a heavy touch, but he recovers it, plays it through to Winks. Winks looking for the ball in behind to Daka, but that's blocked off. Chowdhury to win it back. Ndidi. Here's Izahaku down the right-hand side. Left foot across, back post, headed on, and headed wide by Patson Daka. Really nice play from Leicester. Good early cross from Abdul Fattah Izahaku. Again, a bit impatient from Cucurella. Plays it straight to Chowdhury. Chowdhury finds Ndidi and Itawu Isahaku on the right hand side. Goes for the early cross. Left footed. Curling towards the back post. And Daka got up and won it. But was wide of the post and could only head it wide. Here come Chelsea. Gusto with a cut back. Mudryk misses. Sterling in there. Blocked off. Goes down. Penalty. Andy Madley points to the spot. Doesn't need any thinking time. And Chelsea have a penalty as Sterling goes down. Fatawu is the man deemed to have fouled the Chelsea player, Raheem Sterling. See it again. Gusto with a cross. Cuts it back towards the penalty spot. Missed by Jackson. Missed by Mudryk. Falls to Sterling. Sterling takes a touch with his right foot. Fatawu coming in. Yeah, it's a penalty. He takes out his standing foot. No doubt about that. His right foot gets taken from underneath him as he's going to take the shot with his left. And he takes his standing foot from underneath him. There, Fatawu takes away from Sterling, and Raheem Sterling will have a penalty. He wins the penalty. He will take the penalty. Raheem Sterling. Stolarczyk looking to get in his way. Taking his time. And it's at that end where the Leicester fans reside. Leicester fans hoping that they can put Raheem Sterling off, but this could be a huge moment in the tie. Huge moment in the quarter-final. Raheem Sterling stepping up from the penalty spot. It's saved! And the follow-up is cleared away. And Leicester will get a free kick. What a save by Stolarczyk. Raheem Sterling with an awful penalty. And Stolarczyk gets in his way and denies Raheem Sterling a second goal for Chelsea. What is that from Raheem Sterling? That penalty will haunt him in his nightmares for days, if not weeks. Because that is one of the worst penalties I've seen in recent times. Straight down the middle. The keeper doesn't even need to adjust. He commits to his dive and it hits his leg. It's that central from Raheem Sterling. Awful penalty. And a huge turning point that could be for Leicester. That's a moment that you cling to in these ties. A moment where Chelsea could have found themselves with a bit of daylight, a bit of room, a bit of a lead to hold on to take to Leicester. But and a moment that would have been for Leicester, it would have been a disheartening moment, a massively disheartening moment. To go 2-0 down, but denied was Raheem Sterling and Chelsea by Jakub Stolarczyk, who committed to his dive. And I wouldn't even say it's magnificent goalkeeping. He does his job well. Covers as much ground as possible. But it was no excuse for Raheem Sterling's penalty. Which is one that won't be forgotten. Not only by him, but by a lot of football fans. I'm sure it'll be memed on Twitter very shortly. I wouldn't be surprised. Fatawu. I've just been informed that it's Abdul Fatawu. You don't say Isahaku, so apologies for not knowing that. But it is Fatawu. I will call him from now on, as he is wanted. Cucurella. Fatawu on the press. Daka following up. Chalobah back to his keeper. And Sanchez already been caught out in possession, but gets it off to Disasi this time. Gusto. Palmer. Lovely link up. Gusto making the run down the right hand side. Using his pace. Bursts past Harry Winks. He's got options across. Puts the cross in. Fast there to clear it. And it was good from Leicester to get the bodies in the way, but Chelsea had bodies flying forward. And now come Leicester. Down the other side. Doyle. Dewsbury Hall. Mavididi now. Mavididi chips it Across. Fatawu takes it down. Touch with his left. Plays it across. Just ahead of Ndidi. Better from Leicester though. That's what I mean. Counter-attack on counter-attack. That's what I'm expecting. So far, that's what we've seen in this game. That's what has kind of presided in the game. Prevailed is the right word there, surely. They're counter-attacking the counter-attack, and that was a... Initially, I thought it was a good press by Dewsbury Hall, but according to Andy Madley, just a bit too much on Moises Caicedo, and the Chelsea man will get a free kick. Of course, no Enzo Fernandez here today, of course, suspended for Chelsea in the FA Cup, so not making an appearance on the bench. Not on the bench, but alongside the bench in his own wear this afternoon. Here's Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. Again rides another challenge, makes that diagonal infield run. Dewsbury Hall carries the ball forward, chips it across. Fatawu was lurking again. And almost identical to his last cutback cross. Cucurella heads it behind again for another corner. Again, Dewsbury Hall. A burst of pace down the left. And how he can carry the ball. And how he knows that if he makes that infield diagonal run, he's going to carry two players, which offers more space in the box. It's really smart play. And Cucurella has to head it behind for a corner. Fatawu to take. Left-footed delivery, right across, over the head of Sanchez, and Fass, I think, got the header on it, but I think he headed it wide. He did head it wide, but he was claiming for a penalty, or not a penalty, a corner there, without Fass. See this again? Sanchez completely is nowhere to be seen. I mean, goes to jump for the ball, and yeah, there's nothing. He's nowhere near it. I mean, I don't know what he's down claiming something. Robert Sanchez, don't know what. Leicester wanted another corner. I don't think they're going to get another corner. Robert Sanchez back to his feet. No, it's just a goal kick's been given, but Sanchez back to his feet as the physios delayed come onto the pitch. Should be fine, Robert Sanchez. So 31 minutes gone. Chelsea 1, Leicester 0. The FA Cup quarter final. Goal scorer Marc Cucurella, not the most expected goal scorer, but has put Chelsea ahead. Raheem Sterling could have doubled their lead from the penalty spot, but probably one of the most awful penalties we've seen this season. Let Chelsea down and denied them a second goal. Stalazic just kind of stood his ground. Dived to his right, made the decision, committed to it, and didn't even have to commit too far because it was very central. Sanchez is still receiving a bit of treatment. He is standing up, but I think he's getting a bit of that's concussion kind of protocols there. But he is fine. The physios leave the pitch, and Sanchez back in the action. Here's Axel Disasi. Fire it ball over the top, and Leicester will get the ball back there. Stalazic takes the touch, plays it off to Vestergaard. Now Chowdhury, who initially, Hamza Chowdhury, a lot of people predicted him to kind of play on the right back position. At the moment, he's taken up more of that inverted role that we're seeing from fullbacks more often now. Of at least one of the fullbacks playing that inverted role, more of a midfield kind of hybrid role at the minute. And that is where Chowdhury's played most of the game. He's taken up that kind of pocket of space where he can pick up those loose balls for Leicester. Alongside Wilfred Ndidi, who's a bit more advanced, as Ndidi tried to play the ball through there for Daka. Cut off that time as Chelsea get the break of the ball, and they're on the break now. Here's Mudryk charging forward. Mudryk goes for a shot and forces a big save of Stalazic. Gets the second ball, and that's cleared away by Leicester, but only as far as Cucurella. As Caicedo goes from distance, and That one is over the bar by the Chelsea midfielder, but Mudryk had a powerful shot there. Pure venom in the shot, that from Mikhailo Mudryk. Right-footed. Callum Doyle again stepping off, allows the man to take the shot, and Stalajic gets in the way, but again a bit passive from Leicester at the back. They want to deny Chelsea this afternoon. They need to be more aggressive. They need to be more kind of physical in those battles defensively, because if they're going to allow Chelsea space and time and step off time and time again, you're going to become under more pressure. You're going to face more shots. And that's better from Wout Fast. More aggressive there is Ndidi on the challenge. Loses out in that challenge, but Fast in with the header. Winks battling. Loses out, but he'll get the free kick there as Caicedo deemed to have been a bit too physical there with Harry Winks, and that's a free kick to Leicester City. That's also another thing. Let's be honest, but Chelsea aren't the most kind of... not the best side at winning duels. They do give away a lot of free kicks. I mean, we've seen with Newcastle here, although Newcastle went on to lose that game, but Chelsea do give away cheap free kicks quite often in games, and when you get physical with them, you kind of rile them up, and they give away more free kicks. So maybe that's another tactic that Leicester can kind of hone in on, being more physical, and kind of drag that bit out of Chelsea, where they are a bit more aggressive, and they do give away a few more free kicks, and cheap free kicks at that. As Chowdhury intercepts from the Cucurella ball, but heavy touch by Hamza Chowdhury allows Chelsea back on the ball with Cucurella. Chalobah back to Cucurella. Plays it around the corner to his goalkeeper, Sanchez. Disasi, 10 minutes of the first half to go. Chelsea 1, Leicester 0 in the FA Cup quarter-final. Another Championship side looking to join Coventry City in the semi-finals. Nice to know when the last time there was 2 Championship sides in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. More often than not, it's at least 3 Premier League sides in the semi-finals, if not 4. A good switch ball by Dewsbury Hall. Finds Fatawu, but runs into trouble, and Mudryk, who blocks him off, and Sterling picks up the loose ball. As Palmer slipped initially, but he got himself back up and is on the ball. Cole Palmer plays it out to the left, finds Jackson. He wanted to slow the game down there, didn't want to force the issue. Gallagher. Back to Chalobah. Chelsea on the halfway line there with Disasi. Gusto. Back to Axel Disasi. Well, don't forget, of course, another FA Cup quarter-final, the 4th and final FA Cup quarter-final this afternoon from Old Trafford, as Manchester United host Liverpool. That is at 3:30 this afternoon. We'll get team news from 2:30 for you. Will we be live? We will. We will be live for that one. We'll get team news, as I mentioned, at 2:30 for that FA Cup quarter-final later this afternoon. 2 of English football's most decorated clubs battle it out for another place at Wembley in a semi-final. And there was a stat that I heard yesterday about that, as Chelsea win a free kick here, but a really interesting stat that there's only been 2 away FA Cup wins between Manchester United and Liverpool in history. Only 2 away wins, and on both occasions the away side has had a goalkeeper born on the island of Ireland in goal on the day that they won their away game. Caoimhan Kelleher could be on the pitch for Liverpool today, very likely to be on the pitch for Liverpool today. Of course, with Alisson's continued injury, Kelleher should be the goalkeeper for Liverpool, and he's born on the island of Ireland. And what a moment that would be for him on St. Patrick's Day. Would be a great moment for him. Caoimhan Kelleher. We'll see later on if he does start. I'm expecting him to start. I don't think Liverpool are going to play Adrian or Moroschek, the young goalkeeper. in goal this afternoon. I do expect Kelleher to start. Nonetheless, we'll find that out later on. As Leicester intercept that long Chelsea ball. And then the clearance there sees it out for a throw into Chelsea on the left-hand side. But wayward there from Leicester. On the bench this afternoon, Thiago Silva. Once again, was on the bench against Newcastle. But I'm sure Pochettino trying to blood in some youngsters. Maybe this could be his future back four. Maybe Ben Chilwell could be subbed in there at some point, but he's also on the bench this afternoon. As Leicester win the ball, high up again. Fatawu lays it off to Chowdhury. Under pressure from Mudryk. Chowdhury almost played himself into trouble as Vestergaard across the Fass. And down the right hand side was Fatawu, and Cucurella on the press and wins the side a throw in. Good again from Marc Cucurella. He's played well this afternoon. He's come under criticism in his previous appearances for Chelsea. So far this afternoon he's been one of Chelsea's best players on the pitch, both in defence and in attack. Of course, has the only goal of the game. So Cucurella take this throw in for Chelsea. 5 minutes plus additional time to go in the first half. Still one goal to separate the two sides, and that was another poor challenge by Kieran Dewsbury-Hall according to the referee, and another Chelsea free kick. They are being more aggressive, Leicester. It's a weird one. It's Chelsea again, break down that right. Good hold-up play by Malo Gusto. Good work, but loses the ball. A collision there. Allows Leicester back in the possession. Winks. Dewsbury-Hall. A bit of bother, but lays it off to a completely unmarked Hamza Chowdhury in the middle. Winks. He's telling his side to calm down. Vestergaard. Of course, remember, no replays at this late stage. Extra time and penalties if necessary. Fatawu. Already seen a dramatic penalty shootout this week. A couple of penalty shootouts this week in the Champions League. Here's Patson Daka. Lays it off to the left-hand side. Here's Mavididi. Trying to use his footwork. Cuts it back. Doyle with a cross. Away by Disasi. Good again from Leicester. Winks. Runs into trouble. Again goes down, but doesn't get the free kick. But Leicester keep the ball. Winks. Down the right-hand side, here's Fatawu. Better from Leicester. And Ndidi makes the run beyond. Ndidi with a chop ball, but too close to Robert Sanchez, who got an easy catch on that one. But Leicester worked it well. Down the right-hand side. The first time we've really seen Fatawu find Ndidi, who'd made that run in, failed in behind the defence. And it was a good idea, good move. Leicester just not allowing that final pass. That's not clicking in the final third at the moment. Caicedo. Sterling. He plays a ball in behind. Mudryk on the run. Stolasic came for it. Got it cleared, but very close there against Mikhailo Mudryk. And the pull back there from Marc Cucurella will give Leicester a free kick. Fatawu, the player fouled. Jakub Stolasic, not the most convincing bits of goalkeeping I've seen. He just got there in time, ahead of Mikhailo Mudryk, who was charging in on the Leicester keeper. Caicedo. Played it forward to Palmer, but he goes back to Disasi. Gusto. And then the ball forward from Palmer. Looking for a runner. No one had made the run. Leicester intercept. Winks. Daka coming a bit deeper again, but challenge. Really good challenge by the Chelsea captain Gallagher. Loose on the ball was Sterling, but got away with it. Is Gallagher on the spin. He's brought down by Patson Daka. Maybe a bit of frustration from the Leicester centre forward. Gives away a free kick to Chelsea. Remember, we do have one Premier League fixture this afternoon. 2 o'clock kickoff from the London Stadium between West Ham United and Aston Villa. Aston Villa looking to make a bit of headroom against Tottenham after their massive defeat against Fulham yesterday in the Premier League. Villa would open the gap to 5 points again, but Chelsea would have Spurs would have a game in hand as Chelsea come forward, and Sterling, oh my goodness me, 1-on-1 with a keeper, and Raheem Sterling completely misses the target. What is that about? Straight through the middle, Route 1 football by Chelsea, right through the middle, and Sterling just makes the run in behind. 1-on-1, completely beats all the defenders. 1-on-1 with Stolarczyk, and how has he done that? He's completely missed the target. Goodness me, that's the second time that Raheem Sterling has let Leicester off the hook and an almost certain goal opportunity. Nice work by Jackson and Caicedo, I think it is. And Sterling just breaking through the middle. So far wide of the right post, it's unbelievable. Goodness me. Leicester at half-time, I'm sure, probably counting their lucky stars that they're not further behind. Although here comes Sterling to try and put the record straight. Sterling with a cross. Sterling with a ball. And Cole Palmer with a finish. Commentators curse at its worst. And Chelsea double their lead on the break of 45 minutes. Cole Palmer with a finish. And Raheem Sterling surely does set the record straight. He's missed the target twice, but he plays the ball across and is the provider for Cole Palmer, who around that 18-yard box is as cool, calm, composed and as cold as ice. And that is fantastic from Chelsea. And Cole Palmer knows where he's going to finish and does it and executes it perfectly to give Chelsea a 2-goal lead in the tie. I can only apologise to Leicester fans because that moment happened just as I was saying that Leicester would count their lucky stars that they're not further behind. But that is what football is all about. Moments. Well, commentators' curse is not what football fans want, but one thing that they do want is goals. And that is one thing that I'm sure this game will offer up even further, even more in the second half. Still have a bit of the first half to go though as we surpass the 45 minutes. We do have 3 additional minutes at the end of the half, so a bit more time to play before the half-time whistle from Andy Madley, and Leicester give the ball away again. Fass beaten to it. No foul. Sterling gets the break of the ball. They could be even better in front here. Chelsea. Sterling's cross is blocked. Caicedo. Gallagher from distance going for the curler, but curls it wide. Not a bad opportunity that from Conor Gallagher, but that one was going wide, and it did end up past the post for the Chelsea captain. 2-0 it remains, but Sterling, the key involvement again. Here comes Daka. Callum Doyle trying to play it through again, blocked off, but Doyle insistent on his approach and almost gets Leicester free in the box, but good covering by Chelsea again, scramble it away. But here they come on the break again, Chelsea, and Chowdhury a bit much in that challenge with Caicedo and gives away a free kick. But again, it's the counter-attack that's opening Leicester up time and time again. They do commit bodies forward, Leicester, and wasn't surprised by that whatsoever. It's not a surprise that Leicester do commit bodies forward with their attacking approach to the game. But so far it is catching them out. Something that Enzo Maresca might have to evaluate and assess at half-time to make sure this game doesn't get any worse, and Leicester might have a chance at coming back. But at half-time, which the final half-time whistle goes at Stamford Bridge, It is Chelsea who are in control. Chelsea who have the firm grip on the tie. It could have been even more. They've had two other huge opportunities where they could have found the net at least twice more, but Stolarczyk with a save from the penalty, an awful penalty from Sterling. Sterling also missed the target from a one-on-one with the Leicester keeper, but Cole Palmer did eventually get a Chelsea second goal just on the break of half-time to give the Blues a 2-goal lead at the break. Half-time at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 2, Leicester City 0.
Catch me if I fall. Catch me if I fall.
Welcome back to FA Cup Live on this St Patrick's Day, Sunday the 17th of March. Half-time at Stamford Bridge in the third of four quarter-finals in the FA Cup. Chelsea have the control of the game at the moment, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility that a comeback could happen. Chelsea leading by 2-0 at half-time. We've already seen two results in the FA Cup quarter-finals this weekend. Wolves shock defeat yesterday against Coventry City at Molineux. Wolves were one down in the game. Ellis Sims with the goal of 53 minutes to give Coventry the lead. Wolves thought they'd turned it around themselves and had a comeback of their own on the cards. Ryan Ait-Nouri and Hugo Bueno within the space of 5 minutes in the last 10 minutes. 83rd and 88th minute goals to give Wolves a 2-1 lead in the game before two added time goals from Coventry City to rescue the tie. 97th minute from Ellis Sims and Haji Wright the winner in the 100th minute of the game to give Coventry City a spot to Wembley. Of course, they were at Wembley last season, a defeat at Wembley last season in the Championship playoff final against Luton, but they'll want to get back to Wembley and get back to their winning form at Wembley, which they had prior to that defeat against Luton beforehand. Then, in the late game yesterday afternoon, Manchester City made easy work of it against Newcastle in the end, winning by 2-0, both coming from Bernardo Silva in the first half to cruise Manchester City, the holders of the competition, through to the semi-finals again and another spot at Wembley in next month as well this afternoon. Those two ties already confirmed, so Coventry and Man City already semi-finalists. We'll still yet to find out our next two. Still a pick from four, Chelsea or Leicester, but at the moment it is Chelsea that look likely, but you never know. Second halves can be quite strange things at times. Comebacks do happen. And then the big one at 3:30 kick-off from Old Trafford as Manchester United welcome Liverpool to that famous old ground. And as I said, that will be a cracking tie later this afternoon. You do not want to miss that one. We will be live here from 3:30 or from around 3:20 for that game at Old Trafford. So those are our quarterfinals. Two down, one currently underway, and one still to come. And the quarterfinal draw as well later this afternoon after the game between Manchester United and Liverpool at Old Trafford. Later this afternoon, that one will be. The ball numbers for that are as follows: Coventry are number 1, Manchester United or Liverpool are number 2, Chelsea or Leicester are number 3, and Manchester City is ball number 4. So we will run through the draw. If the draw is done when we're live later, we think we might be, because we might do a bit of post-match stuff, post-match action, and get you the draw before we leave you later this afternoon. But we will run you through the whole protocol and when the dates of the semi-finals are later this afternoon. But don't forget that tie between Manchester United and Liverpool live here at 3:30 this afternoon. Right, as I was mentioning in that first half, we do have a Premier League game this afternoon. Only one, of course, with FA Cup action. Only 4 Premier League games over the whole weekend. Yesterday saw Burnley win at 2-1 at home against Brentford. 10-man Brentford in that one. Burnley with a massive win at home. Only their second home win of the season after 15 home games. Only 2 wins from home. Before that, Sheffield United had the worst. Were the only side to have around about the same home record. Burnley had the worst, but not anymore at home, and that takes Burnley off bottom spot once again. Sheffield United's game, of course, postponed, so Sheffield United do have a game in hand on the 2 teams above them in Luton and Burnley. Luton, who drew 1-1 with Forest, that huge game between 17th and 18th yesterday. A win either side would have been huge for either of the 2 teams, but in the end it's deadlock. 1-1 it finished between Luton and Forest. Chris Wood with the goal in the first half for Forest to give them the lead, and an 89th minute equaliser from Luke Berry denied Forest 3 points. A 3 points which would have been huge for Forest, would have took them 6 points clear of the relegation zone, and they would have jumped up 2 places to 15th and put Everton under the chopping block, of course, once again. Fulham, massive result for them in the London derby against Spurs. Spurs shocked for the first time in 39 games in the Premier League. Spurs failed to score. They had an amazing run of successive games scoring dating back to March of last year, but that did come to an end yesterday when they were beaten 3-0 by Fulham at Craven Cottage. Rodrigo Muniz scoring either side of Sasa Lukic's goal gave Fulham a 3-0 win, which is huge for Fulham as well to keep their kind of tabs with the top half at the moment and break that gap to the teams below them. Spurs at the moment, they lose out on the chance to go into the top 4. They would have gone above Aston Villa if they'd have won yesterday, but failed to do that and remained 2 points behind Villa, which was huge for Aston Villa because it means Aston Villa can now open the gap when they play this afternoon. They play West Ham United away from home at London Stadium, which means they can open the gap to 5 points. Of course, Spurs will have a game in hand, but that 5-point gap would be huge because if they don't do that today, they will still come under pressure from Spurs in due course. So a huge 3 points needed for Villa. West Ham, 3 points for them could take them within a point of Manchester United in 6th. So both sides hoping for 3 points this afternoon in our only Premier League game of the afternoon. In the Championship, we will follow a game in our late fixture between Manchester United and Liverpool, 3:30 kickoff, but we have a 3 o'clock kickoff in the Championship. Leeds and Millwall kicks off at 3 o'clock from Ellen Road, and that is a huge game for Leeds because Leeds can go up into the top 2. Remember, Ipswich have already played this weekend, and Ipswich closed the gap to Leicester to just 1 point. I think Leeds could better that, and if they win by a 2-goal margin, Leeds this afternoon, they would go top of the championship leads if they win by a 2-goal margin this afternoon against Millwall at home. That is a huge incentive because, of course, Leicester playing the FA Cup, they're not involved, but Leicester will have a game in hand on them nonetheless. But that is huge for pressure at the moment. And we'll just keep you up to date with a few other games around Europe, because there's a lot of football this afternoon in Europe. Around the grounds, we will head for the second half at Stamford Bridge in a moment. But the FA Women's Super League, Liverpool 3-0 up against West Ham United in that lunchtime kickoff. Man United leading Bristol City by 1-0, and Brighton 2 goals down against Manchester City. All lunchtime kickoffs there. Spurs Leicester gets underway at 2 o'clock from the Women's Super League as well. In the Bundesliga, 2 games this afternoon. Freiburg have the visit of unbeaten Leverkusen at 2:30. That comeback on Thursday night in the Europa League, huge for Xabi Alonso's side to keep their unbeaten run on going and to book their place into the quarterfinals of the Europa League, where they will face West Ham United in that one. They play Freiburg in the Bundesliga at 2:30, followed by Dortmund Frankfurt at 4:30. Inter and Napoli is a key tie in Serie A this afternoon. That's a 7:45 kickoff UK time later this evening. Montpellier and PSG, a 7:45 kickoff in Ligue 1 later this evening as well. The only Scottish Premiership game was postponed this afternoon. Dundee and Rangers. Rangers would have had the chance to go back above Celtic after they leapfrogged them yesterday with the Celtics 3-1 win at home against St Johnstone. Carried Celtic up top of the table. With Rangers do have a game in hand and only a point behind Celtic, and that huge game on the 7th of April, which you can watch live here on LFS. We will have for you that Old Firm derby at Ibrox in a few weeks' time. That is a huge game to look forward to between Celtic and Rangers for a possible title in Scotland. Right, so we'll keep up to date with all the scores from around the grounds. Anything that's key information or any particular games you want me to keep you up to date with, do get involved, because we will. But the second half from the FA Cup quarter-final between Chelsea and Leicester, where Chelsea lead by 2-0 at the break, is on the way next. Do stay with us.
Catch me if I fall.
Welcome back to Stamford Bridge for the second half between Chelsea and Leicester. Get on the way in just a moment. Let's run you through the first half stats, though, from the game. Chelsea have the possession, 59% to Leicester's 41. 9 shots for Chelsea, 4 on target. 3 shots in the whole half for Leicester, none on target. 4 corners for Chelsea, 3 for Leicester. 4 big chances for Chelsea, 2 of those missed. Leicester had 1 big chance, which they missed. Passing, 303 passes for Chelsea, of which 85% were accurate. 210 passes, for Leicester, 84% accurate, so fairly even on that front in terms of passing accuracy. But Chelsea certainly dominating the first half in terms of chances and opportunities, but only 2-0 ahead. And could that be the kind of turning point? You know, yes, they're 2-0 front. They do command the tie. They do have that firm lead in the game, but the next goal will be absolutely huge in the tie. If Chelsea get the next goal, you know, they're certain to go on and win it, surely. If Leicester get the next goal, though, anything can still happen, and that is the joy of the FA Cup. That is what we seen yesterday. Wolves left the door open, and Coventry burst it open and took their opportunity when it came. That is what Leicester need to do this afternoon. They need to hope that Chelsea leave the door slightly open for them. They take their opportunity when it comes and get themselves bang back into this game to try and book their place in a semi-final of the FA Cup and head to Wembley. Right, all 22 players back out on the field. The officials in their positions, waiting on Andy Madley's whistle, as Sterling initially was going to go and take the kick off, but he's not anymore. Conor Gallagher's going to take it, and we get back underway in the FA Cup quarter-final at Stamford Bridge between Chelsea and Leicester. Entertaining first 45 minutes or so, where Chelsea took firm grip, but nothing's a certain format a given yet. So as Nicholas Jackson goes down, that's an issue early on in the second half for Pochettino. He's holding kind of his hip area, kind of gets shoved by Vestergaard to win the ball. It's not a foul. It's good defending by Yannick Vestergaard, but Jackson felt the pain of that shove and was down for a moment, but he's back up to his feet. Thankfully, I'm sure the Chelsea fans will feel thankful that he is back to his feet, because they've had their fair share of injuries this season. Still without their club captain, Reece James, who isn't any closer to returning to the field of play. We'll actually get you the full list of the Chelsea injuries and kind of the estimated time frame as to when they're returning, because there is a lot of Chelsea injuries at the moment. 8 injuries in total. We'll see how they, so far this season, haven't dealt with it well. 11th in the Premier League, lost in the League Cup final. Of course, not in Europe, so the Cup's probably, obviously, their best opportunity at a trophy this season. And this one, their only hope now after losing that League Cup final. But Chelsea, just as Leicester come forward here, Dewsbury Hall, Mavididi on the left, linking up with Dewsbury Hall. Mavididi with the right foot across in, up to win it was lurking was Ndidi, but Kukureya in the way to head it clear, and Mudryk carries it away for Chelsea. Lovely footwork, beats away from Chowdhury, feeds it down the left, finds the run of Jackson, finds it to Palmer. Cole Palmer on the edge of the box, can't work a inch of space. Caicedo, Gallagher, Kukureya. From a Leicester attack, Chelsea work it all the way up the other end and keep it in that attacking third, that final third. Mudryk trying to thread it through, but good step in by Vestergaard. It gets Leicester going. Dewsbury Hall leading the charge on the break. Dewsbury Hall charged around, a lot of players around him, and then eventually taken out by Moises Caicedo, who gives a stern look to referee Andy Madley in disagreement with the referee's decision of a free kick there. Yeah, he reaches for it, doesn't get it. Kieran Dewsbury Hall goes down. It is a foul. It is a free kick. Leicester have a set piece now. So as I was saying, Wesley Fofana for Chelsea out till June. Romeo Lavia out until the end of this month at the very least, along with Nkunku, Colwell, James, all out to the end of this month at the very least. And then Badiashile and Chilwell on the bench this afternoon. The two, they were involved in partial team training this week. So they were involved in their team training this week, and that is why they're on the bench. And Ugochukwu is still out. No official return date for him. So could have a boost at the end of the month, Chelsea. They could return to Premier League action at the end of the month, and could have a good few number of players returning to the field of play for them. That could give them a kind of a jump to the end of the season, that run-in. We will see, of course. 49 minutes gone. Chelsea 2, Leicester 0. Pretty even start to the second half. Both sides have attacking opportunities, but nothing coming from them as of yet, as Sterling Tries to break his fall but loses the ball only momentarily though as Gusto picks it back up for him. Gusto gives it wide to Palmer. Carried Palmer wide, a bit further wide than he wanted in the byline cross from Palmer. Straight into the hands of Jakub Stolarczyk for Leicester. That's a good challenge by Disasi as Leicester try and go long. Gusto. It's all about Chelsea keeping their concentration, keeping their control and their foot on the pedal. They take their foot off the pedal and Leicester can find their way back into this game fairly comfortably. Fairly easily, but they just keep them at bay, Chelsea, and keep their stronghold on this game. They can see themselves heading to Wembley next month as they come down the right-hand side. Gusto with a cross. In the way was Wout Faes. He got it cleared and out for a Chelsea throw-in. Well, Chelsea have progressed from 7 of their 8 FA Cup ties against Leicester. The only exception, of course, that meeting in the final is Leicester come forward and get a goal. Just watching a replay and we completely missed the action, but Leicester have the ball in the net somehow. And the first goal of the second half goes the way of the visitors. I think it might be a mistake by Chelsea. Disasi apologising to his teammates. I have to see a replay because they were showing a replay of some other incident. It's from a Chelsea throw-in. What is this? And Disasi completely... What has he done there? Axel Disasi under pressure from Patson Daka. And what is that? Awful. Passes back to his keeper. And completely misses his keeper. Telegraphs the pass into the back of his own net. That is the lapse of judgment, the lapse of concentration that Chelsea most certainly did not need in this game. That gets Leicester back in the tie. And that stronghold, that foothold, that comfortable lead that Chelsea had has all but gone. It's not completely destroyed, but Disasi has cut the gap. Halved the deficit for Leicester. Another moment where Chelsea could have avoided massively there. That was such a rare moment of misjudgment from Axel Disasi, who's been a real stalwart in the Chelsea defence. He's been fantastic in the last few games. Disasi does get it back to his keeper this time. Bit less on the ball this time for Axel Disasi. Sanchez back to Disasi again, who I'm sure will be under more pressure from Leicester as he again is caught in possession. Dewsbury Hall with a press. Here's Winks. Lays it off to Ndidi, gives it wide to Fatawu. Fatawu coming in. Here's Fatawu, gets to the byline, chips it across. Sanchez was there to gather. Good threat from Leicester, but here come Chelsea on the break. Sterling. Good touch by Jackson to take it away from his marker. Spreads it across for Palmer, but Palmer dragged a bit further wide than he would have wanted. Does take the ball though, up against Doyle. Palmer. Former Manchester City teammates there. Doyle and Palmer. Here comes Gallagher. Here's Caicedo with a shot. And straight at Stolarczyk, who makes a comfortable save down to his right hand side and gathers the ball for Leicester. Goodness me. Dramatic last few minutes of this game, where Leicester find themselves back in the tie. That's sometimes I have an issue with replays at times. You never know what can happen, and we miss key moments. We completely missed the goal. Like, completely missed the Leicester goal. It came back and Leicester was celebrating, and I was like, what has happened? Then we got the replay of it. Goodness me. Free kick here. Mavididi pulling back on Gusto. Yeah. Just catches the face there. Mavididi's left hand. Catches the face of Malo Gusto. This gives the Chelsea player a free kick. Sanchez under pressure again. Palmer, the out ball to help him out of that danger area. Chalobah back to Sanchez. Knight Disasi goes long. Away by Vestergaard. Winks heads it wide for Doyle. And Doyle has to go back to Vestergaard. All the way back to Stalacic. As I was saying before Leicester had scored, Chelsea have progressed from 7 of their 8 FA Cup ties against Leicester. The exception was a 1-0 defeat in their most recent meeting in the competition in the 2021 final, when Yuri Tielemans scored a stunning winning goal against Chelsea to give Leicester the FA Cup in 2021. Of course, that was the final. That was a lot less in the stadium. That was when the stadiums were the attendances were curtailed. A lot less of attendance at Wembley than usually expected for a final on that occasion because the COVID pandemic. That was the COVID season. That season Leicester won the FA Cup. Nonetheless, a massive win for them on that occasion to lift the trophy. At that point they were in the Premier League. Leicester was an all Premier League final. Yuri Tielemans, who's now at Aston Villa, was in the Leicester midfield. He was one of the hot topics around England at that point. Here comes Fatawu for Leicester. Chip ball in. Daka was diving for it, but just over his head. That ball from Fatawu, but again, very good from Leicester. They know how to penetrate Chelsea. But here comes Jackson. Oh, the ball's misplaced. And Vout fast to intercept. Callum Doyle picks it up for Leicester. Growing in confidence now, the visiting side. And at the moment, it looks more likely that Leicester will get another goal rather than Chelsea getting the next one. It's not only the FA Cup that Leicester struggle against Chelsea. Outside of this competition, their form against Chelsea is far from convincing. As Mavididi comes forward, good challenge by Gusto there, sorry. Linking up. Oh, a ball a bit short to Caicedo, but he does get it back to Palmer, who plays it straight to Harry Winks. Mavididi. Now Dewsbury Hall. Well, Leicester have won just one of their last 13 games at Stamford Bridge across all competitions. 4 draws, 8 losses when they beat the Blues in December of 2018 in the Premier League. And 1-0 win that occasion. It's their only win in the last 13 visits to this stadium. I want to make it 2 out of 14 this afternoon. What a comeback win it would be if they do it. Here's Mavididi. Winks. Fass. Now on the right hand side is Fatawu. Fass free in field, but he goes for Ndidi at the byline, cuts it across, Daka up for the header. And I think it might take a deflection. Does it? Daka was up for the header. We'll see it again. Chip ball by Ndidi. Stands it up to the front post and it hits the shoulder of Patson Daka. Thought it took a deflection, but it didn't. Patson Daka didn't get a clean header to it. Goes behind. Again, another good opportunity for Leicester. Sanchez pressed high again. Daka not waiting around and forces the Chelsea keeper long. And now Leicester get back in possession. I think Sanchez has been a bit I don't know, a bit off it this afternoon. I mean, being honest, he's not the first choice keeper at the moment for Chelsea. Petrovic has been the mainstay, especially for the Premier League games in recent weeks since Sanchez got injured. And now that Sanchez is back, he's playing this game, but I don't think he'll get first choice back again. Petrovic has been promising in that Chelsea goal in his recent appearances, and so far this afternoon, Robert Sanchez probably hasn't given Mauricio Pochettino a real stake to claim that he should be getting the gloves back. Kukurea went down there from Fatsuwu. Just pushing him in the back. Disasi. Back to Sanchez. Not the most convincing of kicks, and Doyle there to intercept. Battling was Ndidi, but went down. Did go his opposite number, Moises Caicedo. And Caicedo will get the free kick. To see it again, Doyle stretching for the ball. Actually, he wasn't stretching for the ball. Oh! Ndidi there. Oh, he's lucky. He's fortunate here. He comes in with a high boot. The studs were showing. Not much malice in it, but his studs were showing there, Wilfred Ndidi. Wow. Interesting. Free kick taken by Chelsea, and then we have a stoppage in play because there's an idiot on the pitch. There's an idiot on the pitch. And we do not condone that whatsoever. There's no need for that. And the stewards will sort this issue out of this absolute idiot that's made their way onto the pitch, thinking they're all that, but let's be honest, they're an embarrassment. I mean, I've never understood that. People just come running onto the pitch. I mean, what's the need? Like, what are you benefiting? But here come Chelsea, though, as we're back on the way that situation is dealt with. Mudryk looking for the cross, blocked. Chelsea corner. Good move by Chelsea on the break again. That's where they look the most threatening against Leicester. I've said it in the first half. Those breakaways, those counter-attacks is where Chelsea look at their best. Although, in the corner, Chelsea trying to work it into the box, and they give it away. And now Patson Daka's on the break. He's got 4 Chelsea bodies around him. Goes for the easy option to cut it back to Fatawu. And Leicester will keep the ball. I knew he was running into no man's land there, Patson Daka, but it does work out well for Leicester as Mavididi now gets it on the left hand side, breaking into the box. Steffi Mavididi, right footed! Lovely goal by Steffi Mavididi. Takes a touch, steps in with his right, and finishes with curling effort. Lovely goal by Steffi Mavididi. And Leicester, from 2 goals down at half time, have made hard work of it, Chelsea, in the second half. But Leicester are back level in this FA Cup quarter-final. Steffi Mavididi to get them back on level terms at the bridge. A huge moment for Leicester. A man who's performed incredibly well all season for the Foxes and gets them back on level terms at the bridge. Good spread of the ball by Dewsbury Hall. Mavididi just tries to twist and turn his way past Gusto. Steps inside. Knows it. Everybody in the stadium knows that he's going on to his right. He allows him onto his right, which is criminal for Malo Gusto. Sees him on the inside. And curling effort, beautiful effort by Steffi Mavididi. No chance for Robert Sanchez. Leicester are level. Twisting and turning and stepping over the Chelsea fullback Malo Gusto, who was left for dead inside his own 18-yard box. Sanchez full stretch was nowhere to be seen. And that was a fantastic goal by Mavididi. And Enzo Maresca cheering his side from the sidelines because they have come from a 2-goal deficit to get all the way back in this tie. The first one, maybe a gift from Chelsea. But when they've been given that hand up, Leicester have taken it. And Leicester have run a mile with that opportunity. That, as I said at half-time, if Chelsea leave the door open, Leicester need to burst through it and get themselves back in the tie. And that they have done in this second half. They've stepped up, Leicester, stepped up to the challenge. And they get what they deserve. But at the moment, still a long way to go. Still a long way to go. Level, remember, level after 90 minutes, extra time and penalties necessary to decide a winner. And we will see if that would be necessary. But still 25 minutes to go as Chelsea come forward here. Sterling plays it off to Palmer. Palmer with a shot. Goes high and wide from Cole Palmer. Eyeing up that top left corner, but a bit too high from Cole Palmer and goes wide for the goal kick. But this is end-to-end football. It's been that all afternoon. Exactly the FA Cup tie we were hoping for. Expected goals, expected drama. I expected defensive frailties at the very least, because there's so many good quality attacking players on this pitch, and we're seeing them in action this afternoon. By the way, just after that goal, Leicester were preparing a substitute before they levelled the game. They did make that substitute. Yunus Akgun has replaced Abdul Fatawu. So Fatawu off the pitch and Akgun is on in his place. Leicester have the bit between their teeth now, but here come Chelsea on the break as Leicester give it away, and Sterling on the break. Chowdhury in with a challenge, but picked up the loose ball to Jackson. Mudryk now, Sterling back. Sterling with a shot blocked by Vestergaard. Mudryk with a shot from wide. Ends up going wide. Goal kick, and Yannick Vestergaard, body on the line to deny Raheem Sterling there initially. And the stat for Sterling, he's had multiple chances this afternoon to score for Chelsea. It's not that he has a bad record, he actually has a very good record against Leicester. He scored 4 goals in his last 2 appearances against the Foxes, including a brace at the Bridge in 2022. That was his first goals for Chelsea from his big move from Manchester City that summer. But he hasn't scored this afternoon with the amount of chances that he's had. Raheem Sterling. Pull back there, Steffi Mavididi. And he'll get the free yellow card there, the Leicester man, for pulling back. Malo Gusto, I think it was. Gusto just trying to step away from Mavididi. Mavididi, the man that will be booked for that foul. So Leicester have a man in the book. First yellow card of the afternoon in the game. But Gallagher loses out now for Chelsea. Daka linking up with Akgun, and a ball forward too much on that one for Mavididi to get on the end of by Kieran Dewsbury Hall. And that lets Leicester down. But again, good idea. One thing I have to say, I wasn't too happy with it in the first half. Said about Leicester how I didn't think they were aggressive enough. And they were a bit passive at times, a bit pacifist in their attempts in trying to win the ball back. And I think they need to be more aggressive. They have been more aggressive. Yes, they've given away a few more free kicks, but they have put kind of the pressure on Chelsea. And that's exactly what they need to do. They've been more aggressive. They've been more threatening. They've been more physical. That's exactly what I was expecting to see. And I'm glad that they've shown it, because we're doing a real disservice to them if they hadn't have, because it's such a simple change, such a basic thing to change that can massively turn a game on its head. Just a bit of physicality, a bit of aggression can turn a game in your favour at times if you get in your opponent's face a bit more. But here comes Sterling down the right flank for Chelsea. Cuts it back into the box. Jackson was waiting, but cleared away that time by Ndidi. Chelsea with a throw in on the right, taken quickly. Disasi. Gallagher. Looking for options. Back wide to Disasi. He goes for the cross. Mudryk was battling and went down in the box, and Leicester do get it away. Wanted a penalty there, but that's not a penalty. But Leicester can't play out at the moment. Chelsea get another throw in. That game in the Premier League, by the way, is underway. 14 minutes gone at the London Stadium. West Ham 0, Aston Villa 0. Both sides big wins in Europe in the week. 5-0 for West Ham against Freiburg in the Europa League, and Villa 4-0 winners against 10-man Ajax in the Europa Conference League both on Thursday night. So both might have a bit of a hangover from their respective second leg ties against big opposition. Of course, those ties where they had to play strong teams because they had to win those ties, both of them, on Thursday night. So maybe a bit more pressure. Some final scores for you from the Women's Super League. Liverpool won by 3-1 against West Ham. Man United 2-0 winners against Bristol City. Man City 4 up away at Brighton with 5 minutes to go. And only 15 minutes gone between Spurs and Leicester. Spurs lead by a goal to 0. Okay then. So where we are. Leicester come forward again. Here's Dewsbury Hall. Got the break of the ball. Dewsbury Hall. Ball across and Chelsea get it away. But there's space there. Gaps. A gaping defence. A gaping hole in the Chelsea defence. And here come Leicester stepping in. And here comes Jackson. Goes down. Wants a foul. Gets a foul. Callum Doyle could be seeing red here. It's only yellow. Only yellow from Andy Madley. But Callum Doyle made the challenge on Jackson. Maybe a bit fortunate to stay on the pitch there, Callum Doyle, but I have to say it again. Talked about a gaping hole in the Chelsea defence, gaping hole there in the Leicester defence. Stepped in was Vestergaard. It was Vestergaard. And Callum Doyle on the cover had to come across. Yeah, he just catches Jackson. Does he catch him outside the box? Oh, it's very close. Maybe just outside. Would give the defender the benefit of the doubt there. I think he's just outside. The contact seems to be outside the perimeter of the penalty box. Yeah, definitely outside. It's in the D. But Callum Doyle gets a yellow card just for his challenge. But VAR are double checking whether the foul was in the box or outside. I personally think it's just outside, but we will see. I think he's out. He's outside. VAR still checking this, of course. Andy Madley waiting further assistance. But I think the first contact is outside the box. It's in the D. Therefore, if we're going on first contact, I think there should be no penalty and just a free kick. But I think it's also going to be a change in the card as well. So the yellow card has been rescinded and it's red for Callum Doyle. And I expected that. He was the last man. I was surprised that he wasn't sent off the first time round because he was the last man for Leicester. And Callum Doyle. And a red card for the Leicester defender. But crucially, it's only a free kick. So no penalty, just a free kick for Chelsea, but a red card for Leicester. That makes their task of trying to progress much more difficult. Callum Doyle, the man, coming off, and Enzo Maresca is going to make a change here. It looks like James Justin is the man that he's in conversation with. So Leicester down to 10. Chelsea now have a free kick. Right on the edge of the box, fairly central. And a chance for them to take the lead. Once again from a set piece. And they should be, with around 17 minutes to go, the favourites to go on and win this. But you never know. In the FA Cup, always offers up drama, as we've already seen this afternoon. But I think the right decision has been got there by VAR. No penalty and a red card. Just, I think that's the correct decision. And Cole Palmer standing up to take the free kick. Leicester not going to make a change just yet. I think they're going to make a change at some point, but not just yet. They're going to wait on this free kick. Sterling's also around it. So Palmer and Sterling around it, and they are actually going to make this change now, I think. Yeah, they are. Steffi Mavadidi's coming off. So the man who's got them back on level terms, the man to get their only shot on target in this game so far, is coming off. He's going to be replaced by James Justin, so an extra defender on for Leicester to kind of fill that hole of the gap. But Callum Doyle will be leaving. It'll be a straight swap. clearly. Doyle just replaced by Justin. There being one less attacker, but as expected. Free kick for Chelsea. Edge of the D. Fairly central for Cole Palmer. I think Sterling's lurking as well. Palmer. Whistle goes by Andy Madley. Sterling is the one to take it, and he skies it completely over the bar. Wowee. Palmer standing there expecting to take it, and Sterling got the long run up. Much longer of a run up than I probably think he should have needed. That is awful from Raheem Sterling. Completely skies it. That's an awful free kick. He's not been on a set piece form today at all, Raheem Sterling. Missed a penalty and missed a free kick completely. And almost even close. Leicester get away with one there, but 15 minutes to go. We're on level terms. A winner would be needed to avoid an extra 30 minutes and possibly penalties. With Leicester a man less on the pitch, Chelsea should be favourites, but nothing's a certainty at this stage. Still a long way to go. Still a lot can happen. Palmer. Gallagher. Trying to thread it through the lines, but indeed he breaks it apart. Daka coming a bit deeper, gives it back to Fass, who does his man completely there. Fass. Running forward. Gives it back to Chowdhury. And now Vestergaard is Leicester. Not as keen to commit as many bodies forward, but here's Harry Winks. Justin down the left-hand side, looking for the overlap. Here is James Justin, bursting down that left-hand side, using his fresh legs and his fresh pace to get Leicester forward, but that's good from Malo Gusto. And Moises Caicedo will double up on James Justin and deny him there. Really good defending by the Chelsea players. The ball leaves a lot left to be desired there. The ball cross-field. Cucurella couldn't gather it, and it's straight out for a Leicester throw. Just when you think Chelsea have kind of recomposed themselves and got themselves back into the game, they make a decision like that and make a pass like that. Leicester going to make another change. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall's going to leave the field. It's not been his most amazing game this afternoon, Kieran Dewsbury-Hall. No disrespect to him. He's been involved massively for Leicester, but he has been key component, although... What's going on? What's happening? Kieran Dewsbury-Hall was running off. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall was walking off the pitch. He's not coming off anymore. They're going to make another change. They're going to make that change, Leicester. Wilfred Ndidi's coming off. And Connor Cody's coming off. I thought that was a bit... Connor Cody's coming on, sorry. For Ndidi. That was strange. Like, Dewsbury-Hall was walking to the bench. He was walking off the pitch. He was ready to come off. And then halfway through, he just stopped. They turned him back. They changed their mind, Leicester. Chelsea are also going to make a change as well. And a change coming that the crowd aren't happy with. The man coming off, Mikhailo Mudryk. And he's going to be replaced by Carney Chukwuemeka. And boos around Stamford Bridge at that decision. And Mikhailo Mudryk has been an absolute star performer today. Mauricio Pochettino makes the decision, and the fans not happy inside the stadium with that decision. They'll be happy if it comes off for Chelsea, but Mudryk's been a top performer for Chelsea today. If it was going to take anyone off, it would have took Raheem Sterling off. He's not been at his best or anywhere near that today. He does get a standing ovation. Mudryk. Palmer. Cucurella. Gallagher. Cucurella down the left-hand side. Cuts it back to Gallagher. Trying to work it into the box now. Laid it off to Chukwuemeka. Linking up with Gallagher again, who keeps the possession. Chalobah. Caicedo now finds Disasi. Wide as Gusto. Leicester At the moment, all but, I think, all 10 behind the ball. Gusto. Caicedo. As Gallagher's ball a bit wayward, loses the ball. Now on the chase of Dewsbury Hall, but Dewsbury Hall breaking forward for Leicester. Rare opportunity, rare attack. Cucurella, terrible chest, brings it down to Daka. Kept alive. Akgun can't keep it away. And Leicester with a rare attack could have had a good opportunity there, but just couldn't make the most of it. As Sterling gets Chelsea coming forward. Chukwuemeka lays it off to Palmer. Palmer looking to open the shot. Blocked by Vestergaard there. Game opening up again. Yannick Vestergaard, a huge challenge from him. Because Palmer was just looking to open up his body and find the bottom corner, but stopped in his tracks by Yannick Vestergaard, who's been a massive performer at centre-back for Leicester today. Caicedo, 10 minutes of the quarter-final to go, and at the moment, as it stands, we're going to have another 30 to come. Palmer, goes shot from distance, blocked. Leicester will recover it. Justin. Dewsbury Hall under pressure, goes down, wanted the foul, didn't get the foul. Chukwuemeka now on the edge of the box, trying to squeeze his way through. Chukwuemeka with a good challenge. Palmer on the box, blocked again. Leicester trying to get away, but Dewsbury Hall runs into trouble. And James Justin can only put it away and out for a throw-in to Chelsea. Good pressure from the home side. Not allowing Leicester out. Caicedo. Gusto. Caicedo's ball in, away by Fass, and then Justin's ball back into the arms of his keeper, Jakub Starasic. Well, Chelsea have won their last 5 FA Cup quarter-final ties since losing to Everton in 2015-16. They've reached the semi-finals of the competition in 5 of the last 7 campaigns. And in stark contrast to that, Leicester have lost 5 of their last 6 quarter-final ties in the FA Cup. That exception, of course, was when they lifted the trophy, when they went en route to lifting the trophy in 2021 season. When they, of course, surpassed the quarterfinals. So, to that effect, the last time that Leicester progressed from the quarterfinals. Oh, that's an awful ball by Fass. Straight to Chelsea. Chukwuemeka can't make the most of it. Vestergaard away again. Sterling, a bit loose on the ball. Cucurella to recover. Again, Leicester under a lot of pressure. Gallagher. Chukwuemeka, now Sterling. Chukwuemeka, lots of Leicester bodies in the box. Chukwuemeka with a shot. High and wide from the youngster. Good opportunity though. Well, that's as I said, last time Leicester progressed from the quarterfinals. Obviously they went on to win the competition, so you never know, that could be a good omen if they do get past Chelsea this afternoon. You never know. Although Chelsea have lost just 1 of their last 21 home games in the FA Cup. Won 18, drawn 2, since a 2-0 defeat to Manchester United in the 5th round in 2018-19. So they've lost 1 of the last 21 home FA Cup ties, Chelsea. So it's not often that they lose at this stage or at home in this competition. Gallagher. Jackson, back to Gallagher. Tried to find it back to Jackson, but Dewsbury Hall in the way. Stopped it. Dewsbury Hall trying to get Leicester forward, but the ball to Daka was just misplaced slightly. But Leicester get away with a loose pass from Chelsea. The long ball by Fass. Disasi won it. Gusto linking up with Gallagher. Here is Malo Gusto. Up against Justin. 6 minutes plus additional time. Cross from Gallagher. Cleared away. Palmer to lurk about. Palmer on the edge of the D. Palmer with a shot blocked by Fass. He got his head in the way there. And then he's gone down here without Fass after getting an absolute clatter into the face. And the referee does have to stop the game as it could be a head injury, which will pause the proceedings for the moment. Of course, don't forget we'll get team news from Old Trafford for you in the FA Cup quarter-final tie between Manchester United and Liverpool fairly shortly. Once that team news drops, we will bring it to you right away. To give you the information, of course, because we could be going for an extra half an hour here this afternoon. Which could mean it could be a very tight gap between the two games. Chelsea are going to make another change as well in a moment. So they're going to make that change. Raheem Sterling is going to make way. Applauds the crowd. Again, that gets another slight boo from the crowd, but I don't think he's had the best game. I don't understand why the Chelsea fans would be booing that. Sterling hasn't been good enough. Let's be real, and he will be honest with himself. If he's honest with himself, he will be right. And they're going to make that change. Noni Madueke is coming on in his place. Another wide player to offer to add to the ranks of Chelsea. And they want to win this in 90 minutes. They don't want this to go any further. Although, of course, international break after this game. Very fast. Had to go off with a bit of treatment, so he hasn't had come back on. So Leicester with 8 outfield players, 9 on the pitch at the moment in total. Gusto, left-footed delivery. That one's overhit by Malo Gusto, and that's a goal kick. Well, Leicester may fancy their chances of an upset. They've won 7 of the last 8 away matches in the FA Cup. They've lost just 1 of those, including each of their last 4 in a row. They last won 5 consecutive FA Cup away games back in between 1963 and 1965. Long time ago. If they win this afternoon, they will match that record. If they do at the moment, improbable against Chelsea. I refrain from saying impossible because nothing's impossible in football. But improbable indeed a Leicester win here at this stage. But you never know. Connor Cody winks through the lines. Akun can't hold it up. Loses the ball. Caicedo wins it back for Chelsea, but he's hacked at by Daka, but he does keep the possession for Chelsea. That's good play by Caicedo. 2.5 minutes plus additional time to go. Remember, level after 90. Extra time and penalties will be required to find a winner. Madueke made the run down the right, blocked off that time by Dewsbury Hall again. With Dewsbury Hall beaten off the ball by Gusto. Gusto's ball's misplaced. Dewsbury Hall will pick up the loose one. Justin. The ball a bit hopeful, a bit too optimistic to find Dewsbury Hall as Disasi intercepts. Gallagher. Wide for Madueke on the right. Now Disasi, as Chelsea, their fans get behind them, trying to support them to carry them over the line. They needed a late winner against Leeds to progress to this stage. A 90th minute winner from Gallagher to progress to the quarterfinals here at Stamford Bridge. And a big save! Goodness me, what a chance! I think it's Noni Madueke. That's fantastic reactionary goalkeeping from Jakub Stolarczyk. Ball wide by Gallagher. Fizzed across by Gusto with real pace. And Madueke connects beautifully with it with his left boot. Straight down the throat of Jakub Stolarczyk, who reacted fantastically well. And Leicester buying for the corner, which is taken away by Daka at the front post. Chelsea will bring it back though. Madueke with the ball. Back post again. Tried with a clearance. Cucurella to win it back. Caicedo trying to lift it in. Headed away by Fass. Chukwuemeka picks it up for Chelsea. Camped on the edge of their box, Leicester. Trying to hold off this Chelsea attack. As the cross comes in from Gusto again. Touch and over the bar. What a chance for Jackson. Nicholas Jackson with a golden opportunity to win it. And it fired over the bar. Malo Gusto again with that beautiful delivery. It takes a deflection, bounces to the path of Jackson. He has all the time in the world, takes a touch and has to get it on target, but leaning back, runs out of room, runs out of time, and slashes at it and fires it over the bar. As we hit the 90-minute mark and Chelsea make another substitution, Marc Cucurella, who got their first goal of the game, is coming off. He's going to be replaced by Ben Chilwell, who will take the captain's armband off Conor Gallagher. He's the club vice-captain. Ben Chilwell. And with the end of the 90, of course, 8 added minutes. So 8 minutes for a winner to come to avoid extra time and possibly penalties at the bridge to confirm our next semi-finalist in the FA Cup. As Leicester break forward, Justin couldn't get the ball back from Dewsbury Hall there. As Madueke has it. Gusto switches the ball across, a bit wayward to Chilwell, but he makes up for it. Chilwell does well to win the header. And now finds it to Chukwuemeka. Space down the left. Chance for Chilwell. Puts the ball in. Fast with a clearance. This is a massively intriguing game. Last few moments, added time again. We had added time winner in the game yesterday. Big chance here. Whoa, goal! Chelsea have carved Leicester open. And Kearney Chukwuemeka, the man whose substitution caused boos from around Stamford Bridge. They called their manager and said he doesn't know what he's doing. Well, he has spit back in their faces. He does know what he's doing. And Chelsea seemingly winning at the death once again. Championship opposition claw them back to 2-2. And in added time this time, it's Chelsea that have seemingly won the tie. Palmer with a cold as you like flick on. Backheel pass. Chukwuemeka with the slotted finish. Fantastic from Cole Palmer. And Chukwuemeka does the rest. Chelsea 3, Leicester 2. And an added time winner it seems for the London Blues, who will be feeling anything but blue at this moment in time. Late winners are how they have progressed so far in this competition, and another one is seemingly sending Chelsea and Mauricio Pochettino back to Wembley. Fantastic from Chelsea. The resistance of Leicester finally stopped and denied, and now Chelsea have it in their grasp, have it within their sights. Another trip to Wembley this season. It may only be a semi-final this time, but another opportunity to try and lift the cup. And we're going to Wembley is the anthem being sung around Stamford Bridge at the moment. They have beaten off, it seems, quite narrowly, but nonetheless seemingly beaten off two of the Championship's table toppers in Leeds and Leicester. But there's still time for more drama. Still 4 minutes plus additional, or 4 minutes of the additional 8 to go. Maybe a bit extra with that goal coming in out of time as well. Already seen a 97th and 100th minute goals from Coventry of the Championship. to overturn a 1-goal deficit against Premier League opposition. It'll be some task for Leicester later on, but one they will give their fullest to as they come down the left. Justin beating off the ball. Winks to win it back. Winks going for the early cross, takes a deflection as Chelsea clear it away. As Palmer now trying to get them on the break. Palmer. Leicester trying to get bodies back, but Chelsea firing them forward. Palmer finds Chilwell on the left. Nice spread of the ball. Chukwuemeka. Gallagher. Chukwuemeka again. Jackson lays it off for Palmer. Palmer runs into bodies. And Dewsbury Hall again trying to get Leicester forward. Hopeful. Optimistic. Desperation for Leicester, it seems, at the moment. They need to get the ball forward to try and have an opportunity at getting the ball into the back of the net once again. Just try and save their status in the FA Cup. The moment they're being dumped out of the competition. Almost time to say player of the match. Give it another minute. Here comes Cole Palmer, held back by Connor Cody. Will be a free kick and a yellow card will come Connor Cody's way. It was a necessary challenge that Cody had to make, and he did make it. And he did give away the free kick, Cole Palmer. To Cole Palmer, sorry. Updates to tell you about from around the grounds. West Ham are leading against Aston Villa. Mikel Antonio with the goal to give West Ham a 1-goal lead. They thought they doubled that lead, but that goal has been disallowed. So 1-0 to West Ham against Aston Villa. In the Championship, that game, Leeds and Millwall hasn't got underway. And Freiburg have levelled it against Leverkusen. 1-1 in that game. Florian Wirtz put Leverkusen ahead, and Ritsu Doan has levelled it for Freiburg. So 1-1 in the Bundesliga. As Chelsea's free kick comes back off the Leicester wall. 90 seconds of the 8 added minutes to go. Chelsea with the narrow lead, but here comes Chilwell. And retreating was Chowdhury, but only enough for a Chelsea corner to stop there. Chelsea haven't been short of chances in attacking areas today. Far from that. Corner taken short by Chelsea. Remember, as I said, Leicester, they might not just lose their FA Cup status this afternoon. They might lose their spot at the top of the Championship table, of course. Leeds and Millwall. We'll keep you up to date with that game in our next stream. Man United-Liverpool game. We will update you on that game as it happens throughout the afternoon on the day. At the moment, we're avoiding extra time and penalties, and with less than a minute to go, Chelsea on the attack again. It needs to be a miracle for Leicester now. But what a goal! What a finish to dead the tie, to confirm spot at Wembley for Chelsea. Noni Madueke from distance finds the top bins with his left boot. That is some finish by the Chelsea substitute. And that is game, set, match for the Blues. Chelsea 4, Leicester 2. Chelsea are heading back to Wembley. Heartbreak for Leicester, but it was always going to be difficult with 10 men in these late stages with the amount of talent that Chelsea have in attacking areas. And Chelsea do find that second finish to really confirm victory now. We've seen 2 more goals in added time. We've seen them yesterday as Championship side Coventry beat Premier League side Wolves. It's gone the other way this afternoon. 2 added time goals from Premier League Chelsea is about to knock out Championship Leicester City, who beat Chelsea in the 2021 final. Revenge is so ever so sweet, and Chelsea want to confirm that, because there's the final whistle, and Stamford Bridge jubilant, because Chelsea are heading back to Wembley to an FA Cup semi-final, and they want to go one better, want to go to a final, and want to set the record straight. They've lost 6 straight domestic cup finals. They want to get to a domestic cup final and win one. Still another step away, and later on this afternoon we will find out who will be their next opponent. Could be the holders, Manchester City, of course. Could be Man United or Liverpool. Or it could be Coventry. We will find out later this afternoon. But at the moment, Chelsea have made the job. They've got the job done. Leicester fought ever so hard, got back into the tie in the second half, but when they went down to 10, it was always going to be majorly difficult. And I'm sure, I'm not going to say it, I'm not sure Mauricio Pochettino's not going to say it, but I'm sure he is desperately glad that his 2 substitutes this afternoon have got 2 huge goals for Chelsea to win. Boos ringed around Stamford Bridge when they were bringing off Mudryk for Chukwuemeka. Chukwuemeka got the 3rd goal. And then more boos when Sterling went off and Madueke came on. And those 2 substitutes get the 2 crucial goals for Chelsea in added time. Bittersweet, but revenge is ever so sweet for Chelsea. And they get to another FA Cup semi-final. And they beat Championship opposition once again in doing so. They've beaten now Leeds and Leicester, who are both looking to try and face Chelsea in the Premier League next season. Leicester could be another downer today, as they might lose top spot in the Championship as well as being knocked out of the FA Cup. But their run this season in the Cup has been fantastic. They've done very, very, very well. They have to be proud of themselves. They now concentrate on trying to get promoted, to have more of these fixtures against Premier League opposition. They want to be a Premier League side again next season, Leicester. And barring any late drama in the Championship season, they should be. If they keep going the way they're going, they will be back in the top flight. Credit to Leicester, they made it hard for Chelsea. But in the end, it's the Blues who are going back to Wembley. Final score from Stamford Bridge: Chelsea 4, Leicester City 2. And don't forget, one more FA Cup quarter-final on the way. That graphic is wrong. It says FA Cup 5th round. That's incorrect. It's the FA Cup quarter-final, Manchester United against Liverpool, 3:30 this afternoon. So around 45 minutes to kick off at Old Trafford. We will hand you over there. We will be there for you in a very short while. But for the moment, it's Chelsea through. They join Man City and Coventry. It's a fairly blue semi-final lineup so far, but it will be one of the red teams joining them. Man United and Liverpool on the way very shortly. See you then.
Catch me if I fall.